So because many of you guys seem to enjoy the last video I did on the 2023 Colorado comparison between the LT and the Z71, today we're going to be taking a look at the Trailboss and comparing it to the Z71 and taking a look at some of the options and features that are either available on both trucks, not available on one or the other, and just kind of taking a look at the standard equipment available on each trim. Now, although we're going to be comparing it mostly to the Z71, this also does apply somewhat to the LT, because if you choose to option the LT fully in the Convenience 3 package, you will get many of the same features as the Z71. So keep that in mind while watching, that although I'm directly comparing it to the Z71, this also applies mostly to the LT as well. So like I mentioned in the last video, I am not perfect. Feel free to fact check this information and leave a comment down below if you find something that appears to be incorrect or some of the options are different from what you find. So feel free to leave a comment and let me know if anything is incorrect or might be different depending on the packaging. So to keep the format the same, I'll first go over the standard features that you'll gain going to the Z71 over that of the standard features of the Trailboss. Now, what's different about the Trailboss versus the LT that I did in the last video is that the Trailboss doesn't have nearly the same amount of optional equipment that the LT does. So the Trailboss is actually more similar to that of the work truck trim of the Colorado than that compared to the LT, and especially the Z71, which we'll get into here in a second. So keep that in mind while watching this video, is that the Trailboss is technically closer to a work truck trim of the Colorado than that of an LT or a Z71. But anyways, going to the Z71, you automatically get the red recovery hooks versus the black on the Trailboss. You get the red interior accents versus that of kind of the standard interior found on the Trailboss itself. And breaking it down into the three standard equipment groups, kind of how I did in the last video, you get the rear sliding window with the defroster standard on the Z71. That is found in the Trailboss convenience package. You also get cruise control on the Z71. I know that sounds crazy, but cruise control is actually not standard on the Trailboss nor the LT and the work truck, of course. So that is actually an option found in the Trailboss Convenience 1 package. So those are the main two options found there. Then moving up to the Z71, you also get the heated side mirrors and painted side mirrors automatically versus that of the Trailboss. Those options are found in the Trailboss safety package. And then lastly, this third group of options is quite a long list, and these are not available at all on the Trailboss, where these are all standard on the Z71. So looking at this, you get the front seat map pockets, the illuminated vanity mirrors, keyless open, start, and proximity entry, the rear dual USB charge ports. There's actually no rear seat charging in the Trailboss trim at all. Some of the other lower trims, including the LT, have one USB in the back. The Z71 comes standard with two USBs in the back. Then moving on, you get the 120 volt outlet for the center console, as well as the outlet in the bed. That is a very nice feature in my opinion, not available on any Trailboss. You get the LED daytime running lights, the LED headlights, the LED fog lights, as well as the LED tail lights, all standard on the Z71 and not available on any trim or option package in the Trailboss. So I know that's kind of a long list there, but all those things are simply not available on any Trailboss Colorado, which is kind of surprising given that LED lighting is definitely becoming more popular and available on lesser trims, but Chevy has chosen not to make that available. So keep that in mind for looking at a Trailboss, is that all those features are simply not available, or as mentioned earlier, optional in some of the packages. So now moving on to the optional equipment both on the Z71 and the Trailboss. As you'll find, there is some more options available on the Z71 that are simply not available at all on the Trailboss. So starting out, heated seats and remote start are optional on the Z71. Those are simply not available in the Trailboss. Automatic climate control, auto dimming rear view mirror, as well as the telescopic steering column, optional in the Z71 Convenience 2 package. Simply again, not available on any Trailboss. Next, you have the power driver's seat, the easy lift lower tailgate, the StowFlex tailgate, as well as the locking cylinder tailgate. Those are available on the Trailboss in the Convenience 2 package, or with that last one, the Trailboss Technology package as well. So those are the options that are optional on both the Z71 as well as the Trailboss. And as you can see, there's just a lot less equipment either standard or available on the Trailboss when you compare it to the Z71. Now finally, to compare the similarities between these two trucks, because after watching this you might be thinking, wow, there's like hardly anything that's similar between the two. Well, a lot of the mechanical aspects are actually very similar between these two, outside of course of the wide body stance, as well as the 2-inch lift found on the Trailboss over the Z71. But moving on to the similarities, both of these trucks come standard with the Turbo Plus engine tune, which is the middle output version of the 2.7. Both these trucks come with 32-inch tires with 18-inch wheels. You get the automatic locking rear differential, hill descent control, the drive mode system, as well as the 2-speed transfer case with the low range, both on the Z71 as well as the Trailboss. So you can see both these trucks are fairly off-road capable and kind of off-road oriented, but of course moving to the Trailboss you do get the wide body stance with the fender flares and all the exterior appearance, and then you get the very functional 2-inch lift kit from the factory on the Trailboss. But outside of that, mechanically they are very similar. So now to talk about pricing for both of these trucks. The Z71 4x4 starts out at $41,395 including destination. The Convenience 2 is $43,020 and the Convenience 3 is $44,435. Now looking at the Trailboss, this truck is going to be overall a good amount cheaper because of the lesser options and features kind of available across the range, even in the optional equipment groups. So the Trailboss 4x4 starts out at $38,495. The Convenience 1 is $38,870. The Convenience 2 is $39,415. And the fully loaded Trailboss 4x4 with all of the optional equipment groups as well as the optional bed liner is just $42,115. So this is a lot cheaper of a truck even in its fully loaded form, but again, you are missing quite a few options and features available on the Z71, either standard or optional equipment in one of the convenience groups. So even though Chevy has introduced this new trim level on the Colorado, it's definitely positioned to be kind of a more off-road capable truck while not kind of giving you all of the luxury and convenience features on the inside as well as the outside with the LED lighting than that of the upper trim levels such as the Z71 as well as the top ZR2. Even though the Trailboss technically sits above the LT of the Colorado, it is more off-road capable than the LT. However, you will actually find more convenience options and features on the LT, especially in its upper convenience packages versus that of the Trailboss. Now, luckily, there are still several options that are available on the Trailboss in its convenience features. However, they are on more of the basic side of things, so like the tailgate. You can get the technology package still with the Trailboss, which does give you adaptive cruise control and I believe the upgraded sound system as well. But basically there's no heated seats, no heated steering wheel, no LED lighting on the exterior, and as you can see earlier in this video, it is missing quite a bit. Now the one benefit of this new generation is that there's a few things such as GM's Safety Suite, the 11.3-inch infotainment with built-in Google integration. Like I mentioned, adaptive cruise control is optional still on the Trailboss. So those are all features that are kind of standard or optional across all of the trim levels of this new Colorado, which I think is a huge upgrade over the last truck. So what it boils down to is that the Trailboss is definitely a good option if you want a more basic truck in terms of features and amenities, but really want the factory lift, the wide stance, and of course some of the mechanical aspects of the Z71, such as the automatic locking differential, the slightly larger wheels and tires, 2-speed transfer case, and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good truck from that standpoint. But if you're looking for a daily driver with a lot of nice features and options on the inside, it might not be the best option for that. And looking at the available options and pricing on the Trailboss, I would say you might as well get at least a Convenience 2 Trailboss, given the price difference or the price cost of the option groups is really just a couple $100s each. So I really think for about $1,000 to $1,500 over the base Trailboss, it might be in your best interest for not only just everyday driving and using the amenities on the inside, just for resale values as well, to just get the Convenience 2 Trailboss for, like I said, just over $1,000 between the two. So I think that is a good value in that aspect, is you might as well just get the Convenience 1 and Convenience 2 on the Trailboss and maybe even fully load it for just over $42,000 if you're looking at kind of just getting a nice daily driver truck with a few of the basic features found across all Colorados. But once again, I will leave more information down in the description below to Chevy's website, so you can go ahead and build these trucks yourself. I would strongly recommend doing this, kind of going through each of the option packages. They have a fairly nice layout, easy to use, easy to navigate and see what the different option packages give you in terms of equipment. But like I said, Trailboss in general doesn't come with standard with cruise control. So I think that's why you might as well check the 2 boxes for Convenience 1 and Convenience 2 packages, just given the overall costs are so low and it gives you a lot of the nice basic features that really should be standard on most vehicles nowadays, but tend not to be on this new 2023 Colorado. So that is my opinion. But overall, if you're looking just for a basic off-road capable truck from the factory, that might be a very solid option. So if you guys enjoyed this video and or found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button below. Subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed, and check out some of the other videos I have here on the channel, including that LT versus Z71 video that I mentioned a few days ago. I think that is a very helpful video. People have seemed to really enjoyed it. So once again, hopefully you guys found this video helpful between the Trailboss and the Z71. And again, this also applies somewhat or mostly to the LT if you are especially comparing it to the LT Convenience 3, which gives you the vast majority of the options and features of the Z71, minus the ventilated front seats, the leather seating surfaces, and the memory driver's seat. So those are the main key differences between the fully loaded LT and the fully loaded Z71. But outside of that, the Trailboss itself is quite a bit different than each of those two trims. So once again, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the Trailboss or the new upcoming 2023 Colorado in general. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.